everybody, Lewis here. My wife's sitting next to me. We're on our way to drop off our 2014 Hideout on our first long-term rental, and we're not sure how we feel about it. Hey, what's up everybody? It's Lewis with LR Valdez Rentals and Bout That RV Life. And today I'm going to walk you through our 2014 Hideout that we just got back from a long-term rental. And just going to walk through the condition of it, kind of some of the things that we've learned throughout this process. So if you're a business owner who rents out your RVs, you know, most people that utilize like RV'Share or Outdoorsy, they're basically renting it out for maybe the longest, probably a week to 10 days at a time. We decided to do kind of something a little bit more long-term, close to a month. And the lease was actually signed for six months, but you know, he ended up realizing that it just wasn't very cost-effective to rent it out longer than that. But we definitely learned some things with this process, some do's and don'ts, and I'm going to be walking through those today. So first things first, one of the things that we realized is he was going through quite a bit of propane. So what we learned is that one of them actually was leaking a little bit, which of course, you know, we didn't realize that was happening. But he had messaged us and said, hey man, I'm filling these things up a little bit longer than usual. So I think what I've learned from this process is next time if we do something like this, we'll definitely check, make sure just everything's working fine. You know, we were under the impression that we were coming out of summer and going into kind of the cold season. We were under the impression everything was working fine, but obviously it wasn't. You know, as far as the condition of the camper, it was actually, the outside of the camper was actually pretty good. It just kind of sat stationary for a little while and really wasn't moving at all. So it was parked, it was hooked up to electricity, and it was hooked up to sewage and actually water. But for the most part, outside was looking good. One thing we found here, I'm not sure, I mean, he sent me a message pretty quick saying that this was like this, but you know, we don't remember it being dropped off like this. They did end up leaving a whole bag of food, which I don't understand, but yeah, there's a bunch of condiments in there. And then, you know, as far as the cleanliness, it wasn't too bad. The counters were obviously dirty. They didn't do a good job of really kind of cleaning it after they left. But a couple of things that we noticed is that as far as the bathrooms go, there's some stubble left in here. Toilet obviously wasn't rubbed down or cleaned. You know, just nothing was really wiped down. Some soap, and I'm not sure what's left on that there. A couple of things they left was a full-length mirror. The pillows were in okay shape. But one thing they stole was our comforter. And that comforter kind of matched the decor of this camper here, so I'm kind of bummed about that. A little bit of dust in here. Down below. The fridge is actually in really good shape. Pretty clean in here. There's a little bit of stuff there. And the other thing we really don't do, which we learned we should do, is take an inventory. We really didn't take an inventory of all the things that we had and maybe some things that were missing. All of our campers come camp ready. So, you know, when you don't really know what was missing, we kind of just put stuff in here as we go, not really keeping much inventory, just making sure everything's available for anybody who wanted to cook, clean, you know, serve a family of 5, you know, anything like that. We do have some linens and things like that, so we're not sure if any of that was missing. So that's something we definitely learned. We need to take some inventory next time and kind of cross-reference, you know, what was here and what was missing. It does look like all of our bedding, as far as the bunkhouse goes, is still here. And it doesn't really look like this area was used much. And as far as storage goes, nothing was left behind. We keep soap down there for the critters. All in all, the condition isn't in bad shape. You know, it was only a month. Like I said, the lease was signed for 6 months, and I didn't really feel like I needed to hold him to it. We did sign a legal lease, but at the same time, you know, I wanted to help the guy out. You know, I worked out a deal with him so he can actually have a place to stay and to work his job. But it ended up being a pretty cool deal for him. He ended up finding a drivable RV that he could kind of rent to own, which was great for him. And my wife was just a little bit uneasy about having it out there long term, so I wanted to get it back as soon as possible. So that was one of the things we did, is we just made a decision. You know what? If he wants to give it up, we'll gladly go down and pick it up. We actually make more money renting it out nightly than we do long term. So would I do it again? Probably. You know, especially during the winter time. You know, it's real slow. We haven't had a ton of bookings for this one specifically. So if somebody wanted to rent this out for 3 to 6 months long term, I totally would. You know what I mean? Yes, we do make money. I think we rent this one out anywhere from $129 to $139 a night. And as you can imagine, you know, having this out there for 30 days, we're definitely losing money. So thanks for watching, everybody. If you could, please give us a thumbs up, consider subscribing. It supports our channel. And as always, happy camping.